On a Wednesday night in Oxford, Ohio. What else would you rather be doing than watching college football? Action tonight from Yager Stadium here on the campus of Miami University. The Bowling Green Falcons in Oxford to take on the MAC East leading RedHawks from Miami. Patrick Geshan, Luke Poley with you here high above Yager Stadium. And Luke, game time temperature right now, 25 degrees. It is not toasty outside at all.
Yeah, it's great great winter action weather. This is how you know you're getting into the crunch time in the Mid-American Conference. We got the weeknight games. Those opened up last week for the MAC as they were trying to get some games on television. This game on ESPNU tonight. Both these teams set to face off here on a really, really cold Wednesday night in Oxford.
The Bowling Green Falcons are 3-6 overall, 2-3 in the conference. The Miami RedHawks coming off a huge win last week at Ohio University. 24-21 was the score in Athens after Sam Sloman made a very good go-ahead field goal from 53 yards out with 3:48 to go in the fourth quarter. So the RedHawks now need to win 2 games, Luke, to get into the MAC championship. 3 games are left on the season, and if they win tonight, they are bowl eligible.
Absolutely, and you know, we saw what happened last year with the RedHawks going 6-6 and not making a bowl. And you know, now there's even more motivation for them to win more than 6 games. So they're hoping to start that here tonight and gain some confidence with bowl eligibility, and then move in to those last few games of the season and really try and get themselves a berth in the MAC championship and do some great things moving into the postseason part of this season.
So Bowling Green will kick off. It's number 93, Mason Lawler, kicking right to left across the football field from the 35-yard line, and it is a squib kick. The RedHawks will pick it up here on special teams and move it up the near side of the field. That was Maurice Thomas, who picked it up at the 20-yard line and was pushed out of bounds at the 30. And that is where the RedHawks will begin drive number 1 of the game. And you'll have to excuse us here because the RedHawks are wearing dark gray jerseys with dark red numbers on top of them. So the numbers from our vantage point, and we're on the top row of the stands at Yager Stadium, the first level of the press box, are very hard to see tonight. So we will have to rely on some good eyesight here under the lights at Yager Stadium. Brett Gabbert, the quarterback, in there for the RedHawks. He's got 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. A play-action handoff on play number 1, and it's intercepted. Bowling Green intercepts pass number 1 of the game. It was the linebacker, Brandon Purse, number 1. And the RedHawks are sent off the field on the first play of the day as Gabbert fired a pass to the near side. He got tipped at the line. Purse right there to pick up the ball on the ground. And the Bowling Green Falcons will have 1st and 10 on the Miami 34, just 8 seconds in.
Yeah, what a huge way for the Falcons to start this game. And a ball that just got tipped at the line and then intercepted by them. They got great field position here to start their first drive on offense. And they are rolling already 8 seconds into this game with a huge momentum swing and a chance to put 7 on the board early.
Bowling Green team that last week beat Akron 35-6. Akron, the RedHawks' opponent next week. Grant Loy is their quarterback. The redshirt junior takes a snap and will keep it up the left hash. And he is tackled down after a gain of about 6 down to the RedHawks' 29-yard line. They'll pick up 5 officially. Loy, the redshirt junior, 6'5", 223 out of New Washington, Ohio, who last week passed 12 for 20 with 113 yards, no interceptions, 1 touchdown, just picked up 10 yards on the ground, and tonight already has 5. Play action fake and a handoff to the near side, and tackled behind the line of scrimmage is the Bowling Green rusher. That is number 8, R.B. Marlowe III, who also doubles as a wide receiver. He's tackled down for a loss of 3, and the Falcons will have a 3rd and 9 coming up from the 33.
Yeah, that's a huge play for the RedHawks defense as they were able to just finish that play off and not let him, the running back rather, for Bowling Green shed a tackle, and there's a 3rd and long coming up for the Falcons now.
Falcons are 0 for 4 on the road this year, and a throw to the far side by Loy is in the feet of the intended target. That for Bowling Green is number 12, Bryson Denley, who's also a running back for the Falcons. The 5'10", 173 redshirt junior will create a 4th down and 9 here from the 33-yard line. This will be about a 51-yard field goal, and it looks like Bowling Green is going to go for it here on 4th and 9 from the Miami 33-yard line. A man to his left in the backfield, Loy has. He's got 3 receivers right. The man in the backfield with him is Bryson Denley, their favorite target on running back. And the Falcons will rush 6 men here at the line. Ball on the left hash with 13:54 to go in the first. Loy steps back after the shotgun snap, fires it over the middle, and the RedHawks intercept it. Miami running down the far sideline is number 3, Mike Brown. He is gone with blockers. Mike Brown at the 10 and a touchdown for the RedHawks. Mike Brown, a pick 6 play. 2 turnovers, less than 2 minutes into this one. Maction, 6-0 RedHawks on top.
And wow, what a stunning turn of events there for the RedHawks. After turning it over on the first play, Bowling Green decides to go for it here on 4th and 9. And you really thought they had nothing to lose on that play. They just forced a big Miami turnover. They had a lot of momentum. They hadn't been able to get really a whole lot going on those early downs, but you thought, maybe if they were able to convert that 4th down, they'd get, a lot of confidence moving forward in that offensive drive. Would have been a long field goal anyway. And Mike Brown, just the presence of mind to not only get in the way of that pass, but also to, look up, realize he had blockers, and decide to intercept that instead of slap that one down because it was 4th down. He takes it to the house, and the RedHawks, a big momentum swing here. And we got an exciting one. We're only a minute and 21 seconds in, 2 turnovers, and one of them being a pick 6. And wow, action tonight in Oxford.
The Sam Sloman extra point attempt is good, and the Miami RedHawks lead at 7-0, 13:39 to go here in the first quarter, and this game has already had an awkward start to it, Luke. And the RedHawks already on top in this game against the Bowling Green Falcons, who come in 2-3 in the MAC. They are 5th in the MAC East, 2 wins ahead of Akron, who is 6th place and last place in the conference. And the Falcons under their first-year head coach Scott Loeffler, who was the offensive coordinator at Boston College last year. The Falcons just trying to get back into the swing of things in the MAC. They were 3-9 overall last year, 2-6. They also finished 5th in the MAC East with that 2-6 conference record. But the storyline tonight, Luke, 4-1 in the MAC East are the Miami RedHawks. They have a 4-1 conference record, first in the MAC East, and 2 of the next 3 they need to win to get to the MAC championship, something that hasn't happened at Oxford since 2010 for the Miami football team.
Absolutely, and especially with all the disappointment that's come for this this fan base and these players in the past few years, they really want to get back to a bowl game, back to a good bowl game, and they definitely want to bring home that MAC championship trophy.
Rocks haven't made a bowl game since the 2016 St. Petersburg Bowl. Bowling Green trying to rush it on a kick return from Sloman. It was number 8, R.B. Marlowe III, started at the BG5 and was able to get out to the 20-yard line. And so Bowling Green will officially start here on the 22. 1st and 10 with 13:33 to go. Their first drive of the game already. And the crowd tonight in Oxford is okay for a night game. You wouldn't expect a huge crowd tonight, but the marching band on the near side of the field for this game, instead of the far side where the student section is, the student section has okay tonight. About 200, 300 people maybe have shown up for that. One receiver on the right side for Loy. It's a play-action keep. He's up the far side, the right hash, and will reach the 25-yard line. And Grant Loy has a pickup of 3 on this rush. So it'll be a 2nd and 7 coming up from the BG 25-yard line. The game time temperature 25 degrees. And everybody is bundled up with anything they can grab in their closet that's going to keep them warm. One receiver on the left for Loy. He's got 2 men in the backfield with him. It's going to be another play-action handoff, then a pitch to the far side. R.B. Marlowe is at the 20-yard line, and he was tackled down as soon as he got the pitch. As Loy was about to be sacked, I think originally he was supposed to keep it. Marlowe's to the right of him. He just pitched it over, but the RedHawks read that pretty well. And they send BG back for a 3rd down and 12 in their own 20-yard line.
Big 3rd down here coming up for Bowling Green, and they actually kind of running a similar style to the RedHawks in sort of a hurry up, not letting that play clock get down very far, and so they're quickly going to get up to the line here on 3rd down. 2
receivers left, 1 to the right for Loy. He's got a man in the backfield to his right, and R.B. Marlowe. Loy back to pass to the 10. The pocket collapses. He's in trouble. Fires an errant pass to the near sideline, away out of bounds. And Grant Loy and the Falcons will go out 3 and out on drive number 2 of the game. They can't convert on a 3rd and 12. The punt unit on, and the RedHawks are going to get it back with 12:26 to go in the first.
And that's just a fantastic drive by the RedHawks defense. Last week, if you look at that first half versus Ohio, they, really, I thought they had good pressure on the quarterback, but they just really weren't able to finish off plays. They probably, I'm sure, worked on that a lot in practice, and obviously on that one they had guys swarming, and they really were able to stop the run many times in a row on that drive.
Maurice Thomas back to return the punt for the RedHawks. He's at their own 35, coming toward the right side of the field, and Maurice Thomas is able to get angled out of bounds at the Miami 49-yard line on the first punt of the day for the Falcons. Number 96, Matt Naranjo, the 5'10", 206 redshirt junior out of Skokie, Illinois. So with that, we bring our first media timeout of the game. The RedHawks about to begin their second official offensive drive, but they're already up 7-0. 12:14 to go here in the first quarter. RedHawks lead it in an early action game here in Oxford on Red Hawk Radio. Back here with Maction Yager Stadium, Oxford, Ohio. Patrick Geshan and Luke West Poley with you here, and we are outside, braving the cold. We're on a balcony to the right of the press box here at Yager Stadium. And Luke, how many layers you got on?
Ooh, too many to count, I think, tonight here, Patty. I made sure to pack everything I could find, and feeling warm so far. We'll see how it goes as the game progresses.
RedHawks line up on the right hash, and they got Bowling Green to jump here before the play as Gabbert clapped, and then some movement at the line, and Bowling Green Falcons will give the RedHawks 5 free yards. 12:14 to go here in the first quarter, and it's not been a good start at all, Luke, on both sides of the ball for the Falcons.
Yeah, you know, they were able to get that interception kind of on a weird play with a tip on the first play of the game, but then after that, they've just had nothing with the pick six, and then that last offensive drive just had absolutely nothing. Miami was swarming. They finished off every single one of those plays at or near the backfield, and they've got a lot of momentum right now. And for Bowling Green, this is big to not let Miami run away with it, because they've really, you know, this season been a tale of two teams and either kind of blowing out a team or getting blown out. So they really, I think, need to, you know, get a good couple drives here and make this one close.
Gabbert on the right hash, you hand off to Jalen Bester, who's up the middle for a gain of 9. Jalen Bester's been a great running back for the RedHawks. Last year, 84 yards on 15 attempts, 351 rush yards on the season, just 5 short of Tyree Shelton for the team lead. And a handoff to Bester again, who's up the right hash. Will pick up about 5. The RedHawks get a first down, and they're on the right hash with the no-huddle offense at the Bowling Green 35. First down and 10. RedHawks threatening early on. They started the drive at their own 49. Gabbert a pass to the near side. Quick slant route is Dominic Robinson. Catches it at the BG 29 and was tackled back, but forward progress will get him there. 2nd and 4 coming up for the RedHawks. 11.5 to go here in the first quarter. And this time the offense taking a little bit more time, but still no huddle, as Gabbert will clap once and get a snap. Hand off to Bester, standing to his right. Bester up to the left, or the right hash rather. And he will get a gain of about 2 in, and so now a 3rd and 1 coming up from the Bowling Green 26. I formation for the RedHawks. Gabbard is up to the line for the snap. 2 receivers right in a bunch formation and 1 to the left. RedHawks are going to rush 5 on offense. Now just 1 man in the backfield with Gabbard. It's Bester. Hands it off. Bester over the 25-yard line. Leaps forward to the 22. Jalen Bester getting plenty of yardage there for a RedHawks first down, and they're going to continue the drive here at the BG 22. RedHawks will make some substitutions here on offense with personnel. The no-huddle offense so far is working pretty well.
Yeah, Miami's just been really efficient in how they move the ball. You know, haven't really had any huge plays yet on offense, but just, you know, getting those 5, 6, 7-yard runs, those mid-range runs, and just running these plays, getting each of them off quickly, and they're just moving the ball really, really well right now.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right for the RedHawks in those dark gray uniforms tonight. White pants with a red trim and red numbers, and the white helmets this evening. Gabbard empty backfield, takes the snap, floater pass to the near side of the end zone, and leaping up for the catch there was Andrew Homer, the tight end, but he couldn't bring it in on the near side of the end zone as BG double-teamed him. Number 46 in gray can't bring it in. 2nd and 10 for the 22.
Yeah, not sure if Gabbard was just trying to draw a flag there or what. The throw is a little bit too far towards the near side. Looked like it would have been out of bounds. That's probably why there wasn't a flag thrown. That ball didn't look too catchable, but he had a man coming down the middle, so that play might have been designed because he actually had a man open down the middle and decided to throw into double coverage, and they're going to force an incomplete pass here and another 2nd down for the RedHawks.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right for Miami. Gabbard's going to bring the man to his right in motion. It's a handoff to Maurice Thomas, who is that player. He's over the 20-yard line, left hash of the field at the 15. It takes 6 white Falcon jerseys to bring him back on 2nd and 10. And Maurice Thomas going across the field that time for the run is going to set up at 3rd and 3 from the RedHawks. They're in the red zone on the Bowling Green 15-yard line.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Thomas. It looked like he wasn't going to get a whole lot as he kind of crashed into his blocker near the line of scrimmage, was able to keep the legs moving for a couple more yards, and now the RedHawks have a 3rd down and manageable here.
3 receivers right and 2 to the left for the RedHawks, with a man in the backfield to the right and behind Gabbard, who claps twice and gets the snap. That is Thomas. Little pitch play to Thomas, right side of the field. Across the 15, leaps forward to the 11-yard line, and that is the exact amount of distance he needed for a first down. And the chains will quickly move here on the pickup of about 3 or 4 for Maurice Thomas, who landed right at the first down chain. So the RedHawks officially at the 12-yard line here. The ball on the right hash of the field. And Miami will need to get to the Bowling Green 2 for a first down. So still not a 1st and goal yet. They're at the 12. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Gabbard hands off. It's Tyree Shelton up the middle of the field. Gets across the 10. Tackled down around the 9-yard line. Pick up there of about 4 for Tyree Shelton, who had 8 attempts for 41 yards last week. He's in a battle with Jalen Bester for the rush yard lead on the team. And it was originally Tyree Shelton who was supposed to be the star running back this year for the RedHawks, but then they put Jalen Bester in on a few rushes, and all of a sudden he almost took over the job.
Yeah, Bester's been really good for the RedHawks here. And, you know, they really got a lot of talent. They're pretty deep, and they have been pretty deep in this Martin era at that position, so that's obviously a huge luxury for them on offense, especially with a young quarterback. 2
receivers left, 1 to the right. Gabbard the snap on 2nd and 7. Floater near side of the end zone. Homer can't bring in the catch. He was trying to shove away the defender in the process, and the defender was number 13, Jamari Bozeman for Bowling Green. They try that play to the right side of the end zone again. A float pass to Homer. He almost brought it in, but then lost the ball on his way out. And so a 3rd down and 7 comes from the 9-yard line for the RedHawks. They need to get to the Bowling Green 2 for a first down and goal with 8.5 to go here in this first quarter. RedHawks taking their time, lining up to the ball, 9 on the play clock. They got 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. A man to the right of Gabbard in the backfield. It appears to be Tyree Shelton maybe. Gabbard now in the backfield empties, gets his snap, fires it over the middle, and it was batted down for the intended target that time for the RedHawks. He was standing on the left hash. I'm not sure exactly who that was. We cannot see the number. Jack Sorensen was the target. He was standing at the 2-yard line. If he brought that in, it would have been a first down, but Bowling Green get 2 white jerseys on him to bat it away, and so the field goal team on for the RedHawks here with a 4th and 7. The ball on the 9-yard line, and so this is going to be a 27-yarder for Sloman. Kyle Kramer will hold. Sloman last week in the field goal department was 1 for 1. He made a 53-yarder that won the game at Ohio, and this 29-yard chip shot is An easy one for Sam Sloman, who puts it right down the middle, and with 8:22 to go in the first quarter, the Miami RedHawks lead this one 10-0 over the Bowling Green Falcons. So the action here in midweek is proving to be pretty good for the Miami RedHawks, who have a good start so far in this one, a pick-6 run up the far side of the field for the RedHawks, Mike Brown, and then Sam Sloman adds a field goal on top of that to give Miami a 10-0 lead here with 8:22 to go in the first. We'll be back to Yager Stadium in a moment. You're listening to Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. Yager Stadium, Oxford, Ohio. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you here in a not-so-tropical Oxford. RedHawks about to kick off after the field goal producing drive. 8:22 to go in the first quarter, and the RedHawks lead at 10-0 over the Falcons of Bowling Green. We made the 3-hour drive south on I-75. Sam Sloman here is going to raise the right arm, standing at the RedHawks 25-yard line. The ball on the tee on the left hash of the Miami 35-yard line. As Sloman steps up to kick a very long one that reaches the goal line and is caught there by R.B. Merrill III up the right hash, breaks free to the sideline, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A big hit there on the far side, but about two RedHawks players to knock him out with a 32-yard return by R.B. Merrill III. And the Falcons begin the drive 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line with 8:15 to go in the opening frame.
Yeah, and he showed some great acceleration there on that run. And as soon as that ball fell into his hands, he just sped his way all the way to the 32, ran a Miami defender over in the process. And the Falcons are going to get decent field position here off the kickoff.
Two receivers left, none to the right. There's a man in the backfield to the right of Loy, and it's a handoff here to Bryson Denley, who's up the left hash, breaks through the tackles. Two men chasing him right down the near sideline. He dodges one at the 20-yard line, and Bryson Denley got all the way down to the Miami 16-yard line. Officially the 15, he was able to reach the end zone, was never tackled on the rush up the near side of the field, but they say he stepped out of bounds there. And so Bowling Green will get a first down here on the 15-yard line with 8:03 to go in the first. The Miami 15-yard line, a huge run there by Bryson Denley, number 12 in white. Two receivers right and one to the left here for the Falcons, and a flag comes out before the snap, and Bowling Green with a false start.
False start. Number 17. Offense. Poley. First down.
False start against the Falcons will put them back to the 20-yard line of Miami. It'll be a 1st and 15. The clock moving with 7:50 to go here in the first quarter. So Grant Lloyd, his offense getting organized here with 17 on the play clock. Two receivers right in a bunch formation. Empty backfield here for Lloyd. He's going to roll to the far side, looking for a pass. Pitches one up in the air, but over the head of the intended target, Bryson Denley, who was standing about 10 yards downfield, and incomplete on 1st and 15. Will set up a 2nd and 15. RedHawks defense here will look for their first major stop of the game. It was a 53-yard rush by Bryson Denley down to the RedHawks 15. And he could have gone all the way, but stepped out at the 15-yard line on the near side of the field. An empty backfield. Lloyd will keep it up the left side of the line. He found a hole there across the 15 down to the 13. And Grant Lloyd with a pickup there of about 7 yards, and we'll put him down on the RedHawk 13-yard line, but a 3rd and 8 coming up here for Bowling Green. Crowd will make some noise. They'll have 3 receivers on the right side, 1 on the left side, and a man to the left of Lloyd in the backfield. That's Bryson Denley. And now we get a whistle here, and I believe the Falcons have called a timeout. Oh, okay, so we make it a full media timeout. The Falcons calling just a 30-second one, but ESPNU needs the commercials. So 6:56 to go here in the first quarter. RedHawks lead at 10-0, but Bowling Green threatening on offense when we return. Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. .56 to go, quarter number 1. The Bowling Green Falcons with a 3rd and 8 offensively. The ball on the Miami 13-yard line. The media timeout coming to an end. They'll ring the 3rd down bell here. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. The formation after the timeout. Grant Lloyd standing on the left hash. That's where the snap will come from. Denley is to his left in the backfield. 16 on the play clock. Step forward, barked instructions to the line. Gets the snap, look at far side. Rolls far side, pass over the middle. And it's a catch, but not enough for a first down. About 2 yards short, Julian Ortega-Jones making his first reception of the night. It's going to be a 4th and 4 here from the Miami 9. And Bowling Green will bring on the special teams unit to kick a field goal here with 6:35 to go in the first, and we will get our first look here at number 39, Nate Needham, the 5'11", 190 redshirt freshman out of Orland Park, Illinois, making his first field goal attempt in 2 weeks. He's 4 for 7 on the season. 32 is his longest. This one is from 27. The ball on the right hash here. He'll get the snap. The kick is up, and the kick will be good, just barely. He shoved it in the left upright. And Nate Needham now 1 for 1 on the field goal department tonight after making that 29-yard field goal, a 5-play drive for Bowling Green that resulted in 60 yards. And so now our score, Miami 10, Bowling Green 3 with 6:13 to go in quarter number 1. And Luke, a good stop there defensively for the RedHawks. First time the defense was tested tonight. And so far, I think the offense and the defense have both answered to big calls in this game for Miami.
Yeah, you know, it was a little bit unfortunate for Bowling Green. I was actually a little bit surprised that, you know, they didn't at least think about maybe going for it there on 4th and short. But, you know, at the end of the day, they did get points up on the board, which is something that they'd like to do. And Miami's defense, I think they've responded well, especially after that long run. You know, the Bowling Green, they were able to he stepped out of bounds, Denley stepped out of bounds on his new, you know, season-long run. We thought that maybe he had gotten that ball into the end zone, but he was able to just get kind of shoestring tackled and toe the line out of bounds. So, you know, great job there by the RedHawks defense to step up later in that drive after giving up a big play and, you know, remain confident and remain, you know, diligent there. And Bowling Green's only going to come out with 3 points.
So Mason Lawler, the kicker here, will raise his right arm and kick it off from the tee on the Bowling Green 35. A high kick that's end over end, caught at the 5 by the RedHawks, Maurice Thomas. He's up the right hash of the field, quickly met by defenders at the 20. And he will go no farther than that. And so Bowling Green with a good special teams play there. A 15-yard return from Maurice Thomas. But Miami begins to drive on their own 20 with 6:08 to go in quarter number 1, up 10-3.
Yeah, great kick coverage there by Bowling Green. Maurice Thomas has a lot of speed. But, you know, and he's just running that ball straight north-south, and they got 4 or 5 guys running at him. And, you know, it's tough to make those guys miss at a high rate of speed without, you know, tripping or falling or something like that. And the Falcons are able to swarm him and get him down.
So one receiver to the right here for Gabbard, who will hand off to Jalen Bester. He's trying to go up the right hash and will stumble forward to the 24-yard line, but a flag came in from the backfield.
And this one's probably going to come back here on the RedHawks.
Beg your pardon, it was actually Tyree Shelton who carried it. Holding on Miami is the call. The ref mic is a little bit quiet tonight. And so they're going to have a 1st and 20 here from their own 11-yard line now, and 6:02 left in the first. So the RedHawks here will be pushed back 10 after the holding penalty. 36 total yards on the night here for the RedHawks. 2 receivers left, one to the right for Gabbard. Claps twice, gets the snap, hands it off. The running back up the middle of the field and is stopped and maybe lost a yard. As getting pushed back to near the 10-yard line was Jalen Bester, the carrier for the RedHawks. And so it'll be no gain on the play and a 2nd and 20 coming up from the Miami 11. RedHawks here will halt the no-huddle offense for a moment, bring in some new players on the offensive side of things. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. A man in the backfield to the right of Gabbert. Looks like it's Tyree Shelton. Rocks moving left to right across your radio here in quarter number 1. Gabbert all the way back to the goal line, fires a pass straight into the ground as it was intended for 2 gray jerseys in front of him. Davian Johnson was the official intended target, but no options here for Gabbard, who was threatened with a safety, and now the RedHawks have a 3rd down and 20 coming up from their own 11. Just a quick pass over the middle, but Gabbard threw it straight into the ground. Johnson didn't even have the shot. 2 receivers right, 2 to the left, a man in the backfield behind Brett Gabbard. That's Tyree Shelton. Gabbard claps once, 10 on the play clock. Finally gets the snap. They're going to hand it off. Shelton straight up the middle, right into the line. Maybe got out to the 22-yard line, but that's going to be a pickup of only 5 yards for the RedHawks. As Jalen Bester, that time with a carry, will set up now a 4th and 15 from Miami. And Kyle Kramer on to make his first punt of the game.
Yeah, and I think that the Bowling Green defense stood up pretty well on that drive. I think they've actually played pretty well here through the first little bit. Bowling Green has given up 10 points, but remember, 7 of those came on that pick 6 for Miami. They were able to shut down a promising drive for the RedHawks, who got it into the red zone and hold them to only a field goal, and then a big stop there on defense.
Kramer long punt caught at the Bowling Green 40-yard line by their returner, number 14, Jake Rogers, the 5'8", 178 freshman out of Medina, Ohio. But Rogers smothered up at the Bowling Green 49-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there for the Falcons here today, as they'll begin their 3rd official offensive drive here of the game, and we'll get a timeout after all that. 4:13 to go, quarter number 1. 10-3 RedHawks on top. Falcons get the ball back when we return. Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. .413 to go, opening quarter. Bowling Green about to begin a drive on their own 49-yard line. They trail Miami by a score of 10-3 here in Oxford tonight. 3 receivers to the left here for Grant Loy. He's going to take a snap, quick fires it to the near side, a little screen pass, and out across the 50 for the Falcons is the tight end number 80, Quinton Morris, who last week made 4 receptions for 53 yards in the win against Akron and had 1 touchdown. So it'll be just a gain of 1 for Morris on the 50-yard line. 3:50 now to go in the first. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Falcons. You now have 2 receivers right. Boy, with a man behind him in the backfield, and that's R.B. Merle III, who's a receiver on the right, but he moves to the formation behind the backfield. Now a handoff, and up the left side of the field for the Falcons with his first rush of the game is Trayvon Raymore, the running back, who was able to get down to the Miami 42-yard line. Actually the 41, but it'll be enough for a Bowling Green first down, and it'll be their 2nd first down of the night. So Trayvon Raymore with an 8-yard rush, his first of the night. Receiver on either side here for Loy with a man in the backfield to his left. It is Raymore again. R.B. Merrill III moves from receiver on the right to the formation in the backfield, but now we get a false start on the Falcons, who jump while that was happening. So another false start here against the Bowling Green Falcons. Now have 3 penalties for 15 yards in this game already. 2 receivers right and 1 to the left here for Loy with a man in the backfield to his right, and it looks like that's Denley. They're on their own 46 now, 1st and 15. Or excuse me, on the Miami 46. It's a handoff up the left hash is Denley all the way down to the 35-yard line. The offensive line opened up a perfect size hole for him to squeeze through on the left side of the line, and Denley down that left hash for a gain of 7 to make it 2nd and 3 from the Red Hawk 34.
Great gain there by Denley. Sorry, Patrick, you can go ahead.
Both teams running the ball, I was going to say, pretty well. Bowling Green up to 80 rush yards now in the game. As they snap here, Loy will keep it himself up the middle of the field going toward the right, and this time able to get down to the 31-yard line, and that should be enough to move the chains. Grant Loy with the keep, enough for a Bowling Green first down, their 3rd of the night. Grant Loy in the rush department tonight with his 4th attempt. Last Bryson Denley rush was good for 12 yards for the Red Hawks, and Loy picking up 3 there for the first. 2:06 to go in quarter number 1. Ball now on the Red Hawk 31-yard line. A receiver on the left side for Loy. R.B. Marlowe will slide in as a receiver on the right with the ball on the right hash. A man to Loy's right in the backfield. That's Bryson Denley. 5 on the play clock. Loy looking for a snap, but instead I believe Bowling Green has taken their second timeout of the half, and they have in fact done that with 1:48 to go here in the first quarter. So Bowling Green down to just one timeout. Down to just one timeout here, late stages of the first. And kind of an interesting spot to take the timeout there is the play clock is all the way down to 3, and I guess they just didn't know what they were doing offensively.
Yeah, I think they've had a little bit of confusion at the line so far. I mean, they've already had, an offsides on defense, a couple false starts. They've been forced to call a couple timeouts already, and we're not even done with the end of the first quarter, so they're definitely going to want to get, that communication aspect cleaned up so that they can use their timeouts for more functional reasons, they hope. But for now, they're just going to have to play with one timeout and still almost 17 minutes remaining in the first half.
Receiver on the other side here for Loy. A man in the backfield to his right. That's Denley. Denley will get a play action here. Loy looking far side of the field, but only to pass to. Rolls far side. Gets to the 30-yard line. He's tackled there out the far sideline. As initially a pass play there was intended for the Bowling Green offense, but Loy took the snap, almost threw it far side of the field. Was able to scramble for a pickup of 2 down at the Red Hawk 29, and it's 2nd and 8. BG taking their time to get to the offensive line. 2 receivers left, none to the right. And Loy will have a man to his right. The backfield, it's Denley. Marlowe the third will run to the far side of the field, be a receiver there, then move back. And he got a play action handoff from Loy, who keeps it up the right hash, but he's down to the 26-yard line. And Grant Loy will pick up another 2 yards, and this time a third and middle distance for the Falcons, 3rd and 5 from the Red Hawk 26 with less than a minute to go now in the first quarter. Two receivers left, one to the right for the Falcons. Grant Loy will have an empty backfield here with 40 to go in the first quarter on a 3rd and 5. And the Falcons tonight 0 for 3 on third down conversions. Handoff. Loy, play action actually, keeps it up the left side of the field, but he's tackled down for a gain of 1. Not enough for the first down. Grant Loy trying to be the hero, keeping himself, but the Red Hawks shut down that attempt. And now decision time for the Falcons, who will probably just run out the time in the first quarter. 15 seconds to go in it. And they'll have a 4th down and 4 coming up from the Miami 25-yard line. Play clock didn't even start, so now 7 seconds to go in the first. The Falcons just going to let the quarter run down before they decide what to do on a 4th down and 4 coming up. They're already 0 for 1 in the 4th down department tonight. So 15 minutes over with here in Oxford, Ohio. Action Wednesday night football. The Miami RedHawks came out with a pick 6 from Mike Brown. Sam Sloman also added a field goal in that first quarter. And they lead the Bowling Green Falcons 10-3 in this MAC East matchup here on Red Hawk Radio. And we'll be back in just a moment through 15 minutes here from Yager Stadium. It is Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. Second quarter about to get underway here from Yager Stadium in Oxford, Ohio. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you here on Red Hawk Radio this evening. We appreciate you joining us as Miami RedHawks lead it by a score of 10-3 over the Falcons from Bowling Green, Ohio, here on Red Hawk Radio tonight. Bowling Green with a 4th down and 4, and they're going to kick a field goal, and it's going to be a 43-yard attempt, the second attempt of the night for Nate Needham, who made a 29-yarder earlier on. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. Nate Needham pushed it too far left of the upright. It had the distance, but it was about 3 yards left of the left upright, and Nate Needham now 1 for 2 on the field goal department tonight. Bowling Green unsuccessful on that attempt from 43 yards out.
Yeah, and the RedHawks defense did a great job on that drive, I think, containing, especially towards the back half of that drive, containing Grant Loyce. He tried to, run that ball a couple times, and holding them to their short gains, they were able to keep the Falcons to a field goal there, and a pretty long one, and they were able to hold the Falcons to no points. And now basically got a touchback here as they have the ball and around the 24.5-ish yard line to start this next drive.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right here. Yager claps once the man in the backfield, takes the snap up the left hash for the RedHawks. It appeared to be the rusher Tyree Shelton, who will make his 3rd attempt of the night and will pick up 2 yards on the play to make it 2nd and 8 from the Miami 27. Jalen Bester still leads the RedHawks in rush attempts tonight. He has 6. 2 receivers left, none to the right here for Miami. Man in the motion across to the near side of the field. That's Andrew Homer. Play action fake with Davian Johnson. Gabbert moves to the far side looking for a pass. It's a long one downfield and all the way down the field, but incomplete as the pass was behind the intended target. James May was all the way down at the Bowling Green 25-yard line. Gabbert just aired it out to him from the RedHawk 25, but the pass was about 10 feet behind James May. It'll be a 3rd and 8 for the Miami 27 here on offense for the RedHawks.
Yeah, that was the right decision for Gabbert to make, but maybe the hand just a little bit cold as May was kind of running his route, and he was wide open, but he had to backtrack about 10 yards to even get in the area of where that ball was thrown, and unfortunately wasn't able to come down with it. So now the RedHawks got a big 3rd and long coming up.
2 for 4 from 3rd down tonight. Gabbert back to pass. In trouble, the ball is loose. He got sacked from behind, and Bowling Green falls on the football. They're going to get it on the Miami 16-yard line. As the Falcons knock it free from behind, Gabbert lost control. He cocked his arm back for a pass, but the ball out. And it's number 53 to defensive lineman Chris Oliver to pounce on the football for the Falcons. As that's going to be the first fumble lost of the night. The 3rd turnover combined for each team, the 2nd turnover by the RedHawks, and with 14:04 to go in the 2nd, Bowling Green will get a 1st and 10 on the Miami 16-yard line.
And this Falcon defense has come up for them in a huge way. I mean, a huge fumble recovery there on a 3rd and long. And, just after your offense was, got a little bit frustrated there, wasn't able to come out with any points, they're now starting a drive from inside the red zone. And that takes a lot of pressure off their offense. Great performance from the Falcon defense so far.
Receiver on either side, low and empty backfield, back to pass, rolls to the far side of the field and fires one out of bounds, way out of bounds, looking to the far side of the end zone, the left side of the football field. Is Bowling Green moving left to right across your radio here at quarter number 2. So it'll be a 2nd and 10 here from the Miami 16. Bowling Green needs to get to the RedHawks 6-yard line for a 1st down. So on 2nd and 10 here, they'll have 2 receivers on either side. Loy in empty backfield again. RedHawks rushing 4 on defense. Now a man joins Loy in the backfield left side. That's Denley. Gets the handoff. Spin around move at the 20. Coming toward the near side of the field, but he stumbles forward for a gain of 2. As he got tripped up after the spin move there, and it's going to be a 3rd and 12 coming up on the Falcons for a loss of 2.
I think the RedHawks defense has done a pretty good job, and I think the coaching staff's done a pretty good job in mixing up the rushes and play calling there. They rushed 4, and the Falcons weren't ready. There were 2 guys completely unblocked in the backfield. Falcons going to lose a couple yards, now got a 3rd and long here that they're faced with.
Receiver on the right, 3 receivers left side in a bunch formation for the Falcons. Lloyd now empties out the backfield, looks for a pass over the middle. It is bobbled and unable to bring in the catch For the Falcons was Julian Ortega-Jones. He got two hands on it initially. It went up in the air. The Redhawks diving for an interception but couldn't make one. Jones unable to bring the catch in, and with 13-17 to go in the second, Bowling Green goes 3 and out on a prime offensive opportunity. They were 16 yards away from the end zone. They're going to bring Needham out for another kick here. This one will be on the right hash, and this will be a 36-yarder. He just missed a 43-yarder. He's also made a 29-yarder tonight. Needham will get the snap. The kick is up. Plenty of distance on it. Did he miss it again? Yes, he did. Matt Needham just missed his second straight field goal of the game. It was 2 feet to the right of the right upright. And the Bowling Green Falcons, who get the ball on the Miami 16-yard line, 1st and 10 after a recovered fumble, unable to put any points across with 13-12 to go in the second quarter. A 3-play drive with -2 yards for the Bowling Green Falcons.
Yeah, that is really, really, really frustrating for the Bowling Green coaching staff there. I thought that play, especially on 3rd down, on 3rd and long, and, they had, Grant Lloyd drops back and, not a whole ton of pressure on him. He makes a throw about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage downfield into a sea of Redhawks. Even if his receiver catches that pass, that's still a 4th and 10, so not a great decision by him there on 3rd down. It's really unfortunate for the Falcons because their defense has played so well early and given their offense so many opportunities, but they've really just missed the mark here on offense, and that's really, I think, shifted some momentum into the kicking game as well now, as they've missed 2 field goals here, and this game is still a 7-point game for the Redhawks. I mean, you got everything going your way. Maybe time to take some shots downfield and maybe go for some big plays and try and extend this thing out like we've seen Bowling Green has kind of let teams do to them a couple times already this year.
Another game going on in the MAC tonight. It is a 7-7 tie between Northern Illinois and Toledo. That game being played in Northwest Ohio. That game really doesn't have much impact on the standings, but with a media time outlook, we'll keep it right here. The Redhawks need to win 2 of the next 3 games to get to the MAC championship. Up next for Miami, a week from tonight, 7:30 Eastern here at Yager Stadium. They'll take on the Akron Zips, who are 0-5. They're last in the MAC East. Then they go to Ball State for a Friday night game on Thanksgiving weekend, November 29th. Actually, the time to be announced, but it'll probably be at night from Muncie, Indiana. A Ball State team that's done pretty well this year. They're 3rd in the MAC West, 3-2 conference record. And so the Redhawks here have a very legit shot to make it to the MAC championship. The win against Ohio helped greatly last week, and really, you can say the Redhawks have controlled their own destiny from this point on out with less than 3 games now left to go in the season.
Yeah, I know. This is a great position for the Redhawks to be in. They've, have had some things that, maybe haven't been in their control in terms of where they've been placed and things like that in years past. They've kind of, needed help from other teams to get places. But now you don't have to worry about any of that. The coaching staff doesn't have to worry about, playing while also watching other teams, figuring out how they're doing. They can just focus on winning football games and moving forward with a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum. And I think that just speaks volumes to how much they've improved over this offseason, and they've done really, really well early this season.
Couldn't agree more with you there. Redhawks here will get the ball offensively, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. 13-12 to go in the second quarter. The play clock down to 7, but referees aren't getting out of there yet, so now they reset at 25 for some reason. Must have had an error with that. Gabbard has a man in the backfield to his left, and then he drops behind him. I believe that's Davian Johnson, who's had a 1 rush tonight. Man across the middle of the field, but it's a handoff. Johnson up the left side, breaks a tackle at the line, down to the 30, stretches to the 31-yard line, and 11-yard rush for Davian Johnson, who picks up the 4th Redhawks first down of the night. And up to their own 31, and the no-huddle offense here will get going for the Redhawks. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Gabbard here will take the snap and hand it off to Johnson again, who's up the left hash. This time not as good of a gain. Tackled down after a rush of 2. And actually officially 3 there for Johnson, so 2nd and 7 coming up from the Redhawks' own 34-yard line. Good news for us, Luke, is that the clock is moving a lot with both teams rushing the ball, so not as much time in the elements. Far side throw for Gabbard, and it's complete for a 1st down and more. Catch in there on the far side of the field for the Redhawks was number 13, Jack Sorensen. And so Miami here will pick up a 1st down out to their own 46 for a 1st and 10 with 12:20 to go in the second. been the Falcons' defense tonight that just has not been able to attack the RedHawks' passing game so far. Although Gabbert has thrown one interception, the first pass of the night, the first play of the night, 8 seconds into the game. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gabbert play action over the middle. It's a catch. And with the reception that time for the RedHawks, it was Jack Sorensen over the middle. They're in the Bowling Green territory. The ball down on the Falcon 35. It's a 1st and 10 with 11:50 to go in the second.
And the RedHawks really moving the ball well here on this drive. And just kind of those short-ish mid-range 10-yard throws. And they've, found a lot of holes in this Falcons coverage. They played a lot of zone coverage. And that's leaving, some of those 2-3 yard gaps for some easy catches.
Gabbert pass over the middle. It's a catch, and down the right side of the field it is Andrew Homer. He's going to reach the goal line. Touchdown, Miami. Andrew Homer got the pass in the Bowling Green 20-yard line. Found a break and rushed it up the right hash for the RedHawks. Second touchdown of the night. Miami 16, Bowling Green 3. 11:25 to go in the second quarter.
And, right as we mentioned that, it, just finding those 2-3 yard gaps between yourself and the defender, finding those holes in that Bowling Green zone coverage. They did a great job of that and just able to find a little bit more room there for the RedHawks. Gabbert makes a great throw, an easy pitch and catch. And now the RedHawks up 13, looking to make it 14 here with 11:25 to go. Great drive there from Miami.
35-yard touchdown catch for Andrew Homer. Sam Sloman knocks the PAT through, and the Miami RedHawks now up by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points on the Bowling Green Falcons. They lead at 17-3 here in the early stages of the second quarter. And we'll get a timeout here after the RedHawks drive, a 5-play, 80-yard drive that lasted a little under 2 minutes, and the Miami RedHawks now with a multiple possession lead over the Bowling Green Falcons. Back to action in a moment. Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. $11:25 to go in the second quarter. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you here after the RedHawks' second touchdown of the game on a 35-yard run up the right side from Andrew Homer, the tight end for the RedHawks. Miami only 4 receptions in the game and 1 touchdown on the day on the ground as well. Back for the kickoff, Sam Sloman boots it from the Miami 35-yard line out the back of the Bowling Green end zone, the near side of it. So touchback here, the Falcons will begin this drive from their own 25-yard line. And this will be Bowling Green drive number 7 on the day.
And I think the RedHawks on that last drive really made a statement in terms of kind of a testament to what the momentum was. They just really said on that drive, you know, they let everyone in the stadium know who's in control of the game. They just marched downfield, had absolutely no pushback from the Bowling Green defense whatsoever, and really kind of destroyed the one strong spot Bowling Green's had so far. So Bowling Green really needed to get things together here in the second.
Running here up the left hash of the Falcons, still on his feet, was Bryson Denley, number 12 in white. He was trying to go up the left hash and made a second effort and was able to pick up 5 for the Falcons, who are out to their own 30-yard line. Five-yard rush there for the Falcons. Boy, now 2 for 8 on the day with 6 yards. Boy, to keep this time at the 30-yard line, and he'll be shoved down there. As officially forward progress got Grant Lloyd to the 32, but it'll be a 3rd and 3 coming up for the Falcons, who are still not converted a 3rd down tonight. They are 0 for 5 in that department. 10.5 to go in the second quarter. RedHawks defense wants to keep it that way. 3 receivers left, none to the right here for Lloyd. He's got a man in the backfield to his right. That's Bryson Denley. Lloyd here will get a shotgun snap. Steps back to the 25, looks far side of the field. It's a catch kind of over the middle, and it's going to be enough for the first down. Bringing that in, number 80, Quinton Morris will make his 2nd reception of the day to give the Falcons the first down and their first 3rd down conversion of the night.
Yeah, big conversion there for the Falcons on what's probably one of the biggest offensive drives for them of this game so far. After giving up another touchdown, now they're down 2 scores, and really this is when they need to, you know, kind of get some points on the board and make sure that they are able to stay in this game.
Boy, an empty backfield, back to pass, fires it over the middle. The intended target, Quinton Morris again, but the ball dropped 2 yards in front of him, and so he was unable to bring in the catch. And it'll be a 2nd down and 10. Lloyd now 3 for 10 on the night for a 1 interception. His longest pass so far has only been 4 yards.
Yeah, it was a pretty good route there by Morris, but Lloyd, I think he just released that ball a little bit late, and that ball fell into the turf about 2 yards before it got to Morris's receiver.
Lloyd here with the play action keep, and going nowhere was the rusher Bryson Denley, who was also in the backfield with him, and it's going to be a loss of 2 for the Falcons. 9:32 to go here in the second. Well, actually, it's going to be no gain for Bowling Green. It looked like he dropped by 2, but that's just our angle from up here. We're standing at the 20-yard line, the opposite side of the field from Bowling Green, at the top row of the stands. 3rd and 10 coming up from the Bowling Green 36. Falcons have 3 receivers right, none to the left. Lloyd empty backfield, back to pass, looking long, near side of the field. Intercepted by the RedHawks and immediately tackled at the 50-yard line was number 6 for Miami, Travion Banks. The defensive back there makes the RedHawks' 2nd interception of the day. They're going to have it 1st and 10 from the Bowling Green 48. Turnover number 4 between both of these teams is this tonight.
Yeah, and you could tell, you know, his back was facing to us, but I'm sure his eyes were huge. I mean, this one's a gift. He's just kind of dropping back into coverage and turning around. The ball's right there. He just kind of puts his hands up, gives a little bunny hop there, about a foot into the air, makes the catch, immediately tackled. But a great interception there for the RedHawks, a big turnover, and now they start another drive on the Bowling Green half of the field, and a chance to put some more points on the board and lengthen this lead even more.
2 receivers left, 1 to the right here for the RedHawks. It's going to be a handoff though. Gabbert, and up the near side of the field, tackled down at the BG41 was Tyree Shelton, and he'll make his 3rd rush of the night and give the RedHawks 6 yards to set up a 2nd and 4 with 8:50 to go in the second. 4 receivers on the left side for Miami in this formation. Empty backfield, screen pass to the near side. Shelton the catch, and he breaks through the tackles but stumbles across the 25-yard line and will go down there. As Tyree Shelton, the running back, that time didn't line up in the backfield. He got a screen pass near side of the field. The no-huddle offense continues. 1st and 10, though, on the run by Shelton. The catch and run by Shelton. They look on the same formation again. Gabbert, long pass over the middle. It's a catch, and diving for the goal line, but stopping just short for the RedHawks inside the 1-yard line. was Jack Sorensen, the receiver, and now it's a 1st and goal from the 1, and the RedHawks hurrying it up. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. It's going to be a pistol formation here. Gabbert's going to try a quarterback sneak from inside the 1, and I believe he was short, although no call yet, as both the referees moving in from the sidelines. Still no call as the pile separates, and they're going to say 2nd down. Gabbert didn't get there on the sneak.
Yeah, just tried to push the line there, but Bowling Green loaded the box and stood him up. On the play before that, though, how about that catch by Jack Sorensen?
Yeah.
He had 2 Bowling Green players around, and Gabbert originally faked like they were going to run the exact same play again. They ran, they were in the same formation. They had the screen pass set up, the 3 blocks on his left side, and Shelton lined up on the left side of Gabbert. Looked like they were going to make the same play again. He even pump faked to that side and then threw over the middle. Sorensen was actually double covered and caught it in between 2 Bowling Green players, so great catch there by Sorensen.
Gabbert the snap, hands off. Jalen Bester up in the air to leap over the pile for a Miami touchdown. Although there's a flag thrown by the judge on the near side of the field who was standing at the goal line, Jalen Bester leapt up 7 feet in the air and leapt over the pile of players to reach the end zone, but we have to wait for the call. Offside on Bowling Green is the call. The RedHawks are going to decline that, and they have a 3-possession lead. Count the touchdown by Jalen Bester. A heck of an athletic play by him. 23-3, the RedHawks lead it on Jalen Bester's first touchdown rush of the night. Sam Sloman will be on here for the point after attempt. He's 2 for 2 on the evening and perfect on the year. Hope I didn't jinx him. 20-point lead for the RedHawks, and Sloman able to make it with ease right up the middle of the uprights. And now a 21-point lead for the RedHawks. 24-3 your score over the Bowling Green Falcons with 7:31 to go in the second. Jalen Bester, what a play, Luke.
Yeah, that was just a really athletic play by Bester. You talk about, the running backs that Miami has, and just Bester, just an all-around athlete. He's got speed, he's got power, and he's got some showmanship there as he jumps over both the lines and does kind of a flip on his way into the end zone to extend this Miami lead out. And that's a big score for the RedHawks in terms of the score, in terms of momentum, and hoping maybe there's a photographer back there and Jalen Bester might have himself a new phone background for that one.
Yeah, hopefully there was. Quite a picture there as Jalen Bester leaps into the end zone for the RedHawks touchdown, his first rushing touchdown of the night. 7:31 to go here in the second. Miami 24, Bowling Green 3. Back in a flash. Miami football on RedHawk Radio. Sam Sloan about to make yet another kickoff after RedHawks offensive scoring drive. The RedHawks have had plenty of those here in the going so far. 7:31 to go in the second quarter from a 25-degree Yager Stadium on this Maction Field Wednesday night. And the RedHawks offense and defense have impressed the crowd here that's hanging around for this one. Pretty much half the crowd is standing up because it's so cold out, including us. We're trying to dance around here, getting warm during the commercial breaks. Sloan will kickoff for a touchback out the back of the Bowling Green end zone. And it's so cold, Luke, my mouth can't even form words anymore. And we're not even at halftime yet. Well, Luke, you and I will be doing some hockey this weekend, Friday night. You'll be on the call with me. RedHawks taking on Minnesota Duluth. I'll do the game alone on Saturday because you have a hockey tournament. That takes precedence over this. RedHawks welcome in the defending national champion on the ice this weekend, Friday and Saturday night. The two-time defending national champion. Little reverse on a rush here, and up the right side of the field is Bryson Denley, who gets all the way out to the Bowling Green 40-yard line. They just started the drive on the 25. Denley officially marked down to the 42, but a cross-field run that time will produce a pickup of 17 for the Falcons and a first down. Bryson Denley, the leading rusher for Bowling Green, 82 yards, 4 attempts. That's a 20-yard average per rush this evening. Receiver on the left, receiver on the right for Bowling Green in the drive. It's a handoff here from Loy to Denley, but this time not as successful of a rush. He's trying to go up the right hash that time, but picked up only about 2 yards on 1st and 10, and it'll be a 2nd and 8 coming up here for PG. Well, when the RedHawks played Tennessee Tech in the first game of the year, it's like 87 degrees out, and we were saying, we can't wait for these Wednesday night MAC games, and now they're here, and we're saying, hey, bring back the 80-degree weather. 2 receivers left, 2 and 1 to the right here for the Falcons. Empty backfield, Grant Loy kneeled down, then fires a pass over the middle, and it's a catch. That time for the BG wide receiver, who is number 88, Christian Sims. He makes his first catch of the day, and Christian Sims will pick up yardage all the way down to the RedHawk 27-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 here for the Falcons with 6 minutes to go in the second.
I don't know if the coaching staff looked on the wrong part of the play calling board for that one or what, but it worked as Lloyd tried to, looked like he almost gave like a fake kneel type thing and then threw that ball over the middle for Christian Sims, but he made like a 30-yard catch on an athletic one in that, and Bowling Green with a big gain.
Now a rush up the left side of the field, and the RedHawks containing the rush that time for no gain. I mean, 2nd and 10 coming up on another rush from Bryson Denley. Ball here on the Miami 27. Bowling Green trying to get more points on the board. Currently a 3-possession game here in Oxford. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield for Grant Loy. It looks like they're just going to try to rely on the pass game so far. That's what they've been doing most of this drive. Loy will pass here, rolling to the near side of the field, all the way back at the 42. Dodged a tackle, now has to make a play, and will throw it out the near side of the field. And so Grant Loy that time having to throw it away, and it'll create a 3rd and 10 here from the BG, from the Miami 27 rather. And Bowling Green just 1 for 7 on the 3rd down conversions tonight.
And it's tough here too, you know, you got to be thinking, do they want to get the first down here, or do they just want to make it 4th and short? As, you know, from this area now, I don't think you really want to kick another field goal, as they've already missed 2 from similar spots in the last few drives. So just thinking maybe you got 2 plays to get the first down now.
Loy makes the shotgun snap, runs it up the middle of the field, but way short of first down yardage. He was able to pick up a chunk of 4 yards, and it's going to be a 4th and 6 from the Miami 23 on the keep by Loy. Who now leads the Falcons in rush attempts tonight. That was his 10th. And now has 32 yards on the ground today. 4th and 6 from the Miami 23. The Falcons are going to go for it as they missed the last 2 field goals. Denley is to Loy's right in the backfield. They got a receiver on the left and 2 receivers right. And Bowling Green, Miami rather, is going to use a timeout here. Their first of the half with 4:19 to go in the second. And it will be a media timeout as well, as the RedHawks trying to get set defensively before Bowling Green tries to convert their second 4th down of the day. 4:19 to go in the second at a very cold Yager Stadium here on RedHawk Radio. 4:18 to go in the second quarter, and after the RedHawks go their first time out of the half, both teams are going to set up here. And Bowling Green trying to convert this fourth down on the drive. It would have been a 41-yard field goal from this distance, but their kicker, Matt Needham, has missed the last 2 field goals. One of them was from 29 yards.
Yeah, and the Falcons didn't even put up the warm-up net on the sideline, so it looks like they didn't even really have to think too much about this one. They were just going to go for it.
2 receivers right, 1 man in the backfield. It's a play action with Denley. Lloyd looking near side of the field, no options, and a pass rolls toward the sideline, and it is intercepted. Down there at the corner, nope, number 9, they say incomplete. The ball was brought in by the RedHawks' number 6, Travion Banks, who already has the interception tonight, as there was 2 Bowling Green players at the near right corner of the end zone and 2 Miami players. And Banks brought it in, but he was out of bounds according to the referee. But nevertheless, the Falcons will turn it over on downs, and the RedHawks will get the ball here, 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line.
Yeah, and that actually benefits the RedHawks there. As I don't think he actually fell back into the end zone, so they would have gotten that ball around the 1 or 2 yard line. And, you know, when you're up like this and you have all kinds of momentum, you know, you don't even want to risk a safety and giving any of that momentum back to the Falcons.
It'll be the 9th drive for the RedHawks tonight. A run up the far side of the field, and going out of bounds is Tyree Shelton. Enough to pick up a 1st down for the RedHawks, as they are going to gain 17 on the rush there from Tyree Shelton. He went up the right side of the field from the backfield after a handoff from Gabbert. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. No huddle offense continues. Play action on Shelton. Gabbert, long bullet down the field, brought in for a catch, and going to the end zone for a touchdown is the RedHawks. Wide receiver Jalen Walker making that catch for Miami. It'll be his first catch of the night, and Jalen Walker has just made it a 30-3 RedHawks lead on a big pass over the middle by Brett Gabbert to connect for 60 yards. Jalen Walker was running so fast we couldn't get his number. Sam Sloman in the extra point department. Kicks it through the uprights right down the middle, and with 3:42 to go in the second quarter, the Miami RedHawks 31, the Bowling Green Falcons 3, as the RedHawks, Luke, have produced 3 straight drives that have gotten points on the board for the RedHawks, and late in the second quarter, this is becoming a one-sided affair.
Yeah, 28 points, 4 touchdowns here. There's just nothing that the Falcons have done as of late to just combat anything the RedHawks have done offensively. We're standing rather right next to the Falcons coaches, box with the coordinators and such. Standing up here, just saw one of them just kind of throw up his, laminated board and just disbelief and frustration and, a mix of emotions, just probably really frustrated as nothing has gone their way as of late. They're down huge, and, with 3:42 to go in the half, they're going to want to get a score here, but Miami's got all the momentum right now. And they're down 4 scores, and this is going to be really tough. Still possible to make up, but it's going to be really tough for them, especially being the away team on a really cold night here in Oxford. Miami's got the home crowd rally behind them, and they are really rolling here, up 28 points late in the second quarter.
RedHawks 173 yards in the air today, and Brett Gabbert now with 2 touchdown passes. He's 7 for 13 on the day, a quarterback rating of 201.0 right now for Gabbert. Grant Lloyd kicks right to left, all the way down the field for Miami, and waving out the back of the near side of the end zone is Bowling Green, and so they'll get the ball here with 3:42 to go in the second. That's when the next drive will start for the Falcons and Grant Lloyd. And Luke, what do you do at this point? It's really cold outside. Bowling Green is on the road. It's not gone well for them defensively or offensively so far today, and so how do you get some spark in your game here?
Well, I think you got to take risks. I think you really got nothing to lose. We saw kind of that fake knee play on the last drive. I think you can kind of dig deep into your playbook, look for some trick plays, things like that, just anything to give you momentum, as they're just going to run it up the gut here. But I think that, the Falcons really need to start, taking some risks because they need a really, really big momentum swing that's going to come more from just, a score or a field goal or even a touchdown. They, I think, need a little bit more than that just to reinvigorate this offense. I think they really need, a big play, something like that, to really spur some energy back into this team because they've really been lacking it for the last 10 minutes or so.
Yep, Trayvon Raymore had the last rush for 1 yard for Bowling Green, and Tenley gets the handoff this time on 2nd and 9. And trying to go up the left side of the field, tackled down for a loss of 1, and it sends him back to a 3rd down and 10. The run game just does not work for the Falcons tonight on certain drives, although they do have 119 rush yards on the day. 158 total yards for Bowling Green on 36 plays. Redhawks have 237 total yards on 30 plays. And a timeout here was called by the Redhawks for this 3rd down and 10 with 3:05 to go in the second. So each team down with the 1 timeout as we near halftime here from Yager Stadium. I don't know, I'd say about 1,000 fans showed up to this game, Luke.
Yeah, I'd say about that. Maybe a couple hundred more than that.
Maybe 1,500.
Yeah, stands filled up near the bottom rows. Fans wanted to get close to the field here. Also sticking together for some warmth, maybe.
Penguin style.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many stick around for the second half.
3rd and 10, flags come out here as Loy throws it out the far side of the field. As Loy was stumbling back with gray jerseys collapsing in on him, and 2 flags came out in the area. It's going to be a holding call here on Bowling Green. Sam Neverov of Bowling Green, the offensive lineman, whistled for that foul. And so the penalty declined by the Redhawks. 4th and 10 from their own 25. BG has to punt, and they will go 3 and out with 2:59 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Miami maybe wanting to put up another score here, and they got a lot of time to do it, and still one more timeout.
Why not?
But this defense just has an absolute chokehold on the Falcon offense right now. I mean, they haven't been able to do anything offensively. They've covered the pass, they've covered the run, they've contained the quarterback really well, which is, I think, an adjustment they made from especially the first half of last week. I thought they've done a really good job containing the quarterback and containing those runs just to get them in the backfield or get them for those short yardage plays. And Bowling Green just has nothing going offensively right now. Their defense performed pretty well, I think, through that first quarter-ish of time. But in the second quarter, it was kind of bend but don't break, and eventually the floodgates opened for the RedHawks, and they've put up all kinds of points and looking for more here with a little bit of time to do it late in the second quarter.
Monterono's punt gave the Redhawks they're on their own 41 to start the drive. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Jalen Bester a handoff. He finds a break up the right side of the field, and Jalen Bester is gone. 50, 10, 5, touchdown Miami. Jalen Bester scores a second rush touchdown of the day. Another big play that produces a score for the Redhawks. That drive, just 1 play. Jalen Bester, a 59-yard rush to the house. 2:40 to go in the second quarter, and there's your answer, Luke. You said the Redhawks going to look for points. Took 1 play, 37-3, Miami on top.
Yeah, now I think this leaves Bowling Green with a little bit of a difficult decision. Do you want to try and put up points or do you not? I think the risk in that is we've seen how quickly Miami can score now with 2:40 to go. Look, they just scored in 19 seconds. I mean, if Bowling Green's looking to put up more points here, is the extra point's actually going to get missed? That snap got muffed.
Kyle Kramer got the snap, and he bobbled it up before putting it down for Sloman. So Sloman picked it up off the ground and was tackled after rushing forward for 2 yards. So no PAT there for the Redhawks, and that's actually going to be Sam Sloman's first missed extra point attempt of the year. So he ends his perfect streak at 24 extra points this season. And the Redhawks now lead it by a score of 37-3 with 2:40 to go in the second. Jalen Bester picking up his second rush touchdown of the day. Now 8 rushes for 82 yards for Jalen Bester, who has passed Tyree Shelton for the most rush yards on the team this season, and 59 rush yards for Jalen Bester is his longest of the year.
Yeah, now, as I was saying before that missed PAT, it's decision time for the Falcons. Do you want to take the risk, throw some passes and, try and put up points and, run the risk of, throwing an incomplete pass, giving the ball back to Miami and having another thing like that happen, which you've had on every drive? Or do you just want to run the clock out and reevaluate in the locker room, get out of this cold? We'll see what the Falcons do here, but they've got a lot of adjustments to make going into the second half, regardless of if they score on this drive or not, as they're down 34 right now and kind of scratching their heads.
Sam Sloman kick is caught on the goal line by R.V. Myrtle III. He's going to go to the far side of the field, out at the 20-yard line. He's got an angle, but the RedHawks meet him at the Bowling Green 32 and push him out the far sideline there. And so that is where the drive will begin here for the Bowling Green Falcons, who have plenty of time and a timeout to work with here. 2:31 to go in this second quarter. And the Falcons will get the ball to begin the second half as well. So there's a positive if you're looking for one, if you're a Bowling Green fan. Falcons have not traveled well at all. I don't see any orange in the stands, though.
2 fans in the away section.
2?
2 down there. You see them in the first row.
Yes. Not that there's other sparks throughout the crowd, but we just can't see them. Receiver on the other side here for Bowling Green. Loy up to the line for the snap, hands it off to the backfield, and tackled for a loss of about 2 is going to be Bryson Denley. And Bryson Denley, who will make his 5th rush of the day. Now has 78 rush yards tonight. 2nd and 12 coming up for the Falcons with 2:08 and counting to go in the second. Ball on the BG 29.
And now this is where we'll see what the Falcons are going to do, how low they're going to let that play clock run. Now under 20. And it looks like they're going to run this probably into the single digits. We'll see how low they get it to go, as everyone's lined up now, 10 to go on the play clock.
They do have 1 timeout, as rushing up the far side of the field is Denley again. This time he will pick up a gain of about 7 or so. 3rd and 5 coming up here from BG from their own 36. 1:35 and counting to go in the second. RedHawks on top 37-3.
And if you're Chuck Martin here, if you can get a stop here, you might want to consider maybe calling that timeout, considering how quickly they've been scoring. I don't think your guys want to head to the locker room at all. I think they want to punch one more in before halftime. I don't think they're very cold on the Miami sideline right now. The energy is buzzing down there.
Well, they have heaters and heated benches. 2 receivers left, none to the right for Bowling Green. Grant Loy gets the snap, hands it off. Denley trying to move up the far side. Leftover defender, and I believe Denley's going to get the yardage here for first down, and he will. Out to the Bowling Green 42-yard line, and it's going to be a first down here for the Falcons, their 7th of the day. Bryson Denley's put together a few good rushes tonight. 43 seconds to go here in the second. And Bowling Green on their own 42, taking their sweet old time here on this drive. Receiver on either side, Loy, play action, hands it off though to Denley. And Denley will be tackled toward the middle of the field for a pickup of just 1 yard. Boy, that time with a handoff to Denley and then step back to fake a pass. Officially a gain of 2 for Bryson Denley. 2nd and 8 from their own 44. 15 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Bryson Denley and Grant Loy are both going to walk off the field here, and that's going to do it for the half as we're down to 3 seconds, 2-1, and it's over. So the Miami RedHawks in half number 1 of their first home action game of the season have put 37 points on the board to Bowling Green's 3, and that is your score through 30 minutes here from Yager Stadium in Oxford. The RedHawks 296 total yards to Bowling Green's 170, and crazier things can happen, Luke, in this game, but tell you what, RedHawks put together a very good first half of action here tonight.
Yeah, the stat that really pops up to me that we're seeing right now is Bowling Green's had almost twice the time of possession that Miami's had, and that's not really, I think, in the way that we think maybe it goes. Miami's just scored so quickly. They've been so efficient on offense. They've had a few big plays on the running side. They've had a few big plays on the passing side. Gabbard has all kinds of confidence, and Bowling Green's going to scratch their heads a bit going into the locker room. Their coaches are heading their way down there right now, but they got a lot of adjustments ahead of them, and I'm sure it's a pretty happy Miami locker room right now going into half as they are up big at halftime.
So grab a hot chocolate or a coffee or whatever is warm in your house and drink it in honor of us, because we'll survive 30 more minutes of this. The second half will begin in about 18 minutes and 50 seconds or so here from Yager Stadium in Oxford. RedHawks lead at 37-3 in Maction. Just one half away now from bowl eligibility. Can you believe that? It's Miami football on Red Hawk Radio.
For your halftime entertainment, we'll have a skill demonstration of lacrosse by a few younger students. They'll have to shoot the ball into the net from various spots on the field. Contestants, are you ready? Get set, go!
Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Let's trace the hits and check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so they can't get filed. At least not now, it'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to MCs get weak. For every word they trace is a scar they keep. Cause when I speak, they freak to sweat the technique. I made my debut in '86 with a melody and a president's mix, and now I stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits for beats, for parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beef, then I play for keeps. When they sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Know how many bombs have I ripped and wrecked, but researchers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the context, philosophers are wondering what's next. Pieces took the labs to observe them, they couldn't absorb them, they didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears, for my opponents it might take years. Pencils, pens, and swords, letters put together from a key to cause. I'm also a sculpture, born with structure. Because of my culture, I'm a rhythm constructor. Style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see and peep the technique. Well, don't sweat the technique. I speak indiscreet, cause talk is cheap. Then I get deep in the beat, think complete, composed with a Z, never weak or obsolete. They never grow old. Techniques become antique, better than something brand new, cause it's original. In a while, style I have much more value. Classical, too intelligent to be radical. Masterful, never irrelevant, mathematical. Here's some soothing souvenirs for all the years you fought to sort the thoughts and ideas. It's cool when you freak to the beat. Well, don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
Mumba. arma.
Second halftime in Oxford, back here at Yager Stadium. After halftime, the Miami RedHawks leading the Bowling Green Falcons 37-3. Both teams get a chance to warm up at the halftime break, including us. And Luke, I'd say about 60% of the crowd has left.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so. It's a 34-point game, and it's 20 degrees out, and I think that trip to the press box we had at halftime only made this temperature feel all the worse for us, but we still got 30 more minutes of football, and it should be an exciting one. Miami kicking off to Bowling Green to start us off here in the second half.
Redhawks kicking off right to left to begin the festivities in quarter number 3. They have a 34-point lead on the Falcons. Sam Sloman kicks the ball off the tee at the 35-yard line. It's another touchback. And every kick but one has been a touchback for Sam Sloman this evening. And Luke, if you're the Redhawks, what do you do to close this one out? Trying to limit any damage you can get to your team for 2 more important MAC games to go.
I think you just got to kind of mix things up. I think, you've got a pretty safe lead right now, so you can afford to, especially early, play some maybe different players. But I think in terms of the concept, you just got to kind of stick with what you've been doing. The Falcons obviously are going to make some adjustments, so these first couple drives maybe be used as scouting for the Redhawks to see how they can play out the rest of this game, as Bowling Green's going to maybe try something a little bit different here in the second half.
Grant Lloyd back to pass. The first target was Bryson Denley with the ball tipped by a defender, and it landed 2 yards in front of him. 4 seconds into this third quarter. It's not just us that's braving the cold, it's all the TV crew that's out on the sidelines tonight. The instant replay crew, the media timeout crew. Loya keep here up the left hash. And this is going to pick up about 8 for BG. Cheerleaders are out there. The fans are out there. Police officers and law enforcement. Well, here pass to the far side. It's going to be incomplete. Intended target was Quentin Morris. They had 2 receivers on either side in the formation that time. 14:35 to go here in the third quarter. 4th and 2. BG 3 and out on the first drive here in the second half, and the punt team is going to come on. Matt Naranjo, who had 6 punts last week, averaging 34 yards, will kick this one. He's going to land on the Redhawks 40-yard line and jump back 16 more yards, and it's touched by BG at the Miami 24. And that's where the Redhawks will begin drive number 1 of the second half. Brett Gabbert's still out there for the Redhawks, and you would imagine we might see the backup quarterback, number 2 in gray, Jackson Williamson, at some point in the second half. As Miami here might try out a few new offensive plays up by 34. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. It is a pistol formation here for Gabbert. He'll hand off to the man behind him and up the middle, finding a hole and out to the 35-yard line, getting tripped up, Davian Johnson. Making his 4th rush of the day. He has 16 yards and will add 10 more to that total there. Redhawks actually pick it up 14 out to the BG 37. It'll be 1st and 10 for Miami. No huddle offense this time is not going in the second half. The Redhawks want to get out here as soon as they can. Trying to run off clock time using the run game. Three receivers right, 1 to the left. Gabbert claps once. Davian Johnson, the handoff across the 40-yard line, got to the 41. Pickup of 3 officially on the rush. 2nd and 7 coming up. Unfortunate to see a lot of this crowd leave at the half, but you don't blame them, as the temperature now has dropped to 23 degrees in Oxford. Luckily though, the wind, not too bad. It's about 5 miles an hour right now, blowing from our back to our front, so from the near side of the field to the far side. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 7. Gabbert with a keep on a play action, rolling far side. He's out the far sideline at the 42. And it will be a 3rd and 5 coming up for the 3rd and 4 officially coming up for the Redhawks. 12:37 to go here in the 3rd. Clock moving. Redhawks win this one. They will be bowl eligible for the 2nd straight year. Last year they didn't go to a bowl game. They were 6 and 6 overall, but were not selected. Two receivers left, 1 to the right. Gabbert gets the snap, hands it off, up the middle for the Redhawks, Jalen Bester. And he will not get a 1st down. He's about 2 yards short, and so it'll be a 4th and 1 from the 46. And we'll see what they do here. It looks like they're going to keep the offense out there. Nope, Kyle Kramer is on the field right now at the near sideline, and he will walk on. And the punt team will come on as well. The student section wanted them to go for it. They're booing. There's a pack of about probably 30 students, middle of the field, far side stands. They are holding up fatheads of Chuck Martin, Greg Crawford, and Renee Crawford.
Also see a swoop one in there. All kinds of spirit here. Cheering the Redhawks on to bowl eligibility.
Kyle Kramer's punt lands at the Miami 20-yard line, bounces back 4 yards to the 25. 11:15 to go in the 3rd quarter. 37-3, the Redhawks on top. Bowling Green will get offensive drive number 2 of the half started when we return to Yager Stadium. So the Redhawks on top by 34. Each team has had a drive so far in the second half, but it's been uneventful so far. And we're back in a moment. It's Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you here at Yager Stadium in Oxford. Bowling Green about to begin offensive drive number 2 of the second half with 11:15 to go in the third quarter. Redhawks right back home next weekend. It'll be a week from tonight, 7:30 ET start against the Akron Zips. And Miami will have a chance to go to the MAC championship game and clinch a berth to that on their own field next week if they hold on this week. In this one, that'll be exciting to watch. If they win tonight, they will be bowl eligible. Run up the middle there for Loy on a keep. 2nd and 5 from the 29. He gained 5. Loy with a pistol formation here. He's going to roll to the near side with empty backfield. Now throws it to Quentin Morris. Will make the catch at the Bowling Green 35 and get out to the 38. Good enough for a first down. Pickup of 9 there for Quentin Morris on the catch for BG, the 3rd time he's been targeted and making a catch tonight. 2 receivers right. That's it for BG. Loy at the line with a man in the backfield right behind him. Gets the snap, hands it off. That's Bryson Denley rather. Reaches the 40-yard line, and it'll be a pickup of 3 for him. 2nd and 7 here for BG. The Falcons here running fairly quickly offensively. Only 20 seconds gone on the play clock, and they're getting ready for the next play. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Snap here, caught by Loy, empty backfield, fires near side. Bryson Denley the catch, he's upended at the 40. And it's going to be no gain here for the Falcons. 3rd and 8 coming up. As Bryson Denley made a good catch. His first catch of the day, but a 3rd down coming up here for BG, and they have 8 to go for the first down. Clock moving, 9:22 to go, 3rd quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Loy looks at the sideline before the snap and then gets it with an empty backfield. All the way back to the 30-yard line. Still looking for a play. Now rolls near side. Nobody to go to. Redhawks collapsing in. A flag thrown there. Loy out at the 40-yard line for no gain, but when he was moving toward the near side of the field, the referee threw a flag behind the play, and I'm going to assume this is on the Redhawks. Nope, it's on BG. Never mind. Falcons number 72, Derek Downs, the offensive lineman, whistled for his first penalty of the night. Penalty declined by the Redhawks in a 4th and 8 coming up from their own 40. Punt team coming on. For BG, it is Nate Needham. Long kick down to the Miami 28, takes a bounce, rolls end over end on the field toward the Bowling Green end zone, and it's stopped there by the Falcons at the Redhawk 32-yard line. And we are going to get a timeout after that. The Bowling Green drive produces another 3rd down and out in their own end of the field, and with 8:44 to go in the 3rd quarter, Redhawks 37, Bowling Green 3. It's Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. 8:44 to go in the third quarter, and you know it's cold when your laptop tells you it needs to go inside and get warm. 2 receivers left and 2 to the right here for the RedHawks. They'll begin this drive on their own 32-yard line. On this very cold southwest Ohio evening, 23 degrees your temperature, but Luke, we've done a lot of hockey together. We're prepared for this.
Yeah, you know, doing another game this Friday night and doing a lot of winter sports here. Football maybe
It could be
not
considered a winter
necessarily,
sport.
yeah, you know, kind of in both those things in the summer and winter, as you already mentioned, when it was 80 degrees and we were doing the Tennessee Tech game a little bit, wishing it was a little bit cooler as we were out here in short sleeves and shorts, and now 20 layers on us, and just calling another Maction football game here on Wednesday night. As Miami inches their way closer to bowl eligibility, and they're hoping a MAC championship berth. Last time that happened, what, 2010?
2010. Rush up the middle by Tyree Shelton on the last play. He gained 2 yards. 2nd and 8 coming up. They got 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Tyree Shelton is 2. Brett Gabbert's left in the backfield with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Gabbert claps twice, gets his snap, rolls back for a pass. Long one downfield, and it's going to be brought in for another catch. RedHawks this time, number 15. Actually, it's James May for the RedHawks. I'm sorry, but these numbers on the jerseys we cannot see tonight.
Yeah, I've just kind of been following whatever you've been saying, going with that. So roster hasn't been a huge help for me on the RedHawks side of the ball.
1st and 10, they're all the way down to the Bowling Green 19-yard line. James May bringing in the catch. It is a 47-yard reception, and that's been what has been the key to success tonight, is the RedHawks have just been able to make big plays. Gabbert has been airing it out downfield, and it's mostly been successful. 2 receivers right to the left here for the RedHawks. A man in the backfield next to him. It looks like that's Maurice Thomas. Thomas gets a pitch play to the far side at the 20, hits the brakes at the 15. Back toward the inside. He reached the 10-yard line, got hit by 5 Bowling Green players all at once coming at him from the front. 7:20 to go in the third, pickup of 9 for Maurice Thomas, and it's 2nd and 1 from the BG10.
Yeah, nice play there, and Thomas hits the brakes, comes back the other way. Some finesse work, able to dodge one of the BG defenders and roll his way forward. Interesting spot here. The stick where they have it marked is almost directly in front of that first down marker. Looks like it's a matter of less than 6 inches behind it, but it's still 2nd down. The RedHawks going to have to pick up another quarter yard or so.
Up the middle on a rush here and getting a hole on the line was Tyree Shelton. He's all the way down to the 5. Tyree Shelton picks up 5 on the rush to the 5, and it's going to be 1st and goal from there for Miami. They're just taking their time. Play clock all the way down to 13 here, and 6:10 to go now in the third quarter. 37-3, RedHawks on top, looking to add more points to the board. Why not? Gabbert play action, fires far side. It's a catch, and it run into the end zone for a Miami touchdown. Well, that time it was Luke Mayock, I believe, the wide receiver who brought that in.
I think it's going to be Quentin Hardy, the tight end for the RedHawks.
Quentin Hardy will make his first touchdown pass of the night. He was all the way down far side of the field, running into the end zone, got a little screen pass and ran it in for 5 yards. Slow him in the PAT, that's good. And so the RedHawks now lead the Bowling Green Falcons by a score of 44-3 with 5:58 to go in the third quarter. And Miami produces more points on their second drive of the second half. And hey, Luke, if you're the Miami RedHawks, why not put more points on the board?
Yeah, you know, you got to make a statement here against Bowling Green. And, you know, an in-state rival, a team that, you know, Miami does not like very much on the football field and in many other sports as well. And they're just putting up all kinds of points here, which has kind of been a weakness that Bowling Green has had this year of, kind of either blowing out a team or getting blown out. You look down their schedule, 52-0 loss, 35-7 loss, 62-20 loss, 52-0 loss, 49-10 loss. Here they're down to 44-3, and just kind of letting games slip out of their hands.
Yep.
As they've done again here. And I think the RedHawks have just played really a complete game today. While things kind of spiraled out of control for the Falcons early with some miscues on offense and then some missed field goals, and then their defense eventually just trying to hold things together and weren't able to do that, and the things kind of spiraled out of control. But I think at the beginning of this game, they looked like, in the first 5 minutes or so that they might have some life. They might, be able to kind of extend out maybe a bit of a lead over Miami, especially after that interception that they had on the first play of the game. And there are a couple strong drives out of their defense, but they just haven't been able to do that. Miami's played a really, really good game overall. I mean, if you take out that first play that they had, I mean, this is almost as perfect as you could ask on both sides of the ball for the RedHawks. They've just moved it really efficiently. They've had big plays, both running and passing. And this is going to be a big confidence builder. And, when you have this much confidence, you're at home. At this point, it's just like playing in the backyard for your guys. I mean, this is like when you're playing in the backyard and, you're picking captains or whatever, and then someone makes a wrong pick. You realize the teams are not as even as you maybe wanted them to be, but you got to keep playing anyway until the game ends.
Yep.
And when you're on that winning side, it's really fun to just play pitch and catch and put up as many points on the board as you can. Also, Miami's sending a statement to the rest of the MAC that they're for real here with this win, or with this lead, rather. There's still some time left. And they're really looking for a MAC championship berth and a bowl game after missing out last season.
Last two seasons, actually. They weren't bowl eligible in 2017, but they made it to the 2016 St. Petersburg Bowl. Sloman along kickoff out the back of the end zone again. Surprise.
And Sloman's been really, really good for the RedHawks this year. I mean, in terms of just field goal kicking, everything, I mean, he's not only been able to, do great things on the kickoffs, just not allow any dangerous returners to do anything. I mean, he's made big kicks when he's needed to. That kick against Ohio was huge. He's got all kinds of range. He's already made, 2 or 3 kicks from 50-plus yards this year, which is something, rare that you don't often see outside those Power 5 conferences. So he's just been really good for the RedHawks this year, and especially after they had some kicking woes in their earlier seasons. Of course, that St. Petersburg Bowl was lost on a blocked field goal, and they had some special teams issues that year throughout the season also, so it's really good to see them get that cleaned up a little bit. And Sloman's had himself a heck of a year and looking to continue that into crunch time when the RedHawks really, really need it.
I feel like he's got to be your player of the year. Sam Sloman has made some clutch field goals down the stretch, including last week at Ohio. Way back with empty backfield, a pass for B&G on a 2nd down and 10, and it's a reception there on the far side for the Falcons. Bringing it in was Bryson Dentley, who has been the running back tonight. He will pick up about 5 yards on that catch out the far sideline. 5:06 to go in quarter number 3. It's going to be a 3rd and 5 for BG from their own 30-yard line. 3 receivers right of the line in a bunch formation. 1 receiver to the left for BG, and now they'll spread out on the right side. Dentley will move to Loy's left in the backfield. Loy will keep this one. Little pitch to the far side. Dentley will push forward for a 1st down. He met defenders about 3 yards short of the 1st down marker, but was able to plow his way through to move the chains for the Falcons, and their 9th 1st down of the night will continue the drive here as we reach the late stages of the 1st quarter. 1st and 10 on the BG 36.
And Dentley was really quick moving there down the far side, and as you said, he met contact before that line of the 1st down line, rather, not the line of scrimmage. And he ran over a couple of Miami guys because he had a lot of speed, and the Falcons pick up the 1st down.
Loy empty backfield, rolls far side, pocket collapses. He's in trouble. Now back to the right side of the field. Grant Loy still on his feet, fires a pass. and intended that time for R.B. Marlowe III, who was standing at the 50-yard line. It was over his extended right arm. All that for an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10 will come from the BG 36 with 4:05 to go in the third.
Cecil Singleton coverage at 2nd and 10.
So we have 2 hockey games coming up this weekend on Red Hawk Radio. Friday night 7:05, Saturday night 7:05. Basketball as well, Saturday at noon Eastern. Josiah Collins and I will have the call of Miami and Alabama A&M. From Millett Hall, the men's basketball team. Run up the left side of the field here, this time for Bryson Denley, and it's going to pick up 3 to set up a 3rd down and 7.
You know, I had to put it in the broadcast, Patty. I'm pretty excited now for that Miami-Evansville matchup we'll see later in the season after the chaos that happened last night.
They are on the schedule.
And the Purple Aces came out with a big win in Lexington yesterday at Rupp Arena. And a big win for their program. Had a couple of friends at that game.
RedHawks men's basketball team will play, or they actually played tonight. They won 84-80 in Fort Wayne against IUPUI Fort Wayne.
IPFW?
IPFW. Pass to the near side here, caught by Singleton. He'll get a 1st down for a BG, and they're up to their own 47-yard line. That matchup with Evansville comes on December the 7th at 2 p.m. in Evansville, Indiana. RedHawks will play them on the road this year in men's basketball. Bryson Denley gets a handoff here, pushed back at the 50. And it will be no gain for Bryson Denley on a rush up the left hash of the field. 2:50 to go here in the 3rd quarter. RedHawks lead at 44-3. And for the first time tonight, Luke West Poley has sat down.
Got to me, Patty. Had to crack.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Lloyd back to pass in his own territory. Fires it over the middle, and it's a catch. Bryson Denley is doing all the work for BG offensively. And it takes 2 RedHawks to lift him off the ground and slam him to the turf to make the tackle. As Bryson Denley picking up the catch, that time will put them into Miami territory. 1st and 10 from the RedHawk 26 now. 26 yards pickup there for Denley, who now is in a pistol formation behind the quarterback, Loy. Loy hands it off. Denley going up the left side of the field. He will gain about 5 yards on the run. Up to the RedHawk 21-yard line. 2nd and 5 coming up. Less than 2 minutes to go in this fast-moving 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and Denley's really probably the player of the game here for the Falcons. I mean, it's really tough. It feels like, you know, on every play, going to get a stoppage here and a timeout, I believe, from Miami. But it just seems like, as we're going to get the call here. And yeah, he's really just been their star. You know, it's tough in these games. You know, it just feels like every play you make, you know, when you're getting beat up on like this and, you know, with a score like this and you're away and it's cold and you just feel like the other team just doesn't feel any type of pain, any type of anything really. They're just bigger, stronger, faster than you, and every way it seems. And so to really, you know, keep the legs moving late in the game is something that takes a lot of mental strength, and that's something that I think really shows that he still has some life left in him, as his team's been lacking a lot of energy. Some students getting rowdy up here in the section next to us here, getting excited. The ones who stuck around are really passionate about this football team. Last time Miami became bowl eligible at home and made the bowl game, that Ball State game, the fans crashed the field. A bit of a different setup. It was pretty cold also, but I remember crashing the field on that day, and a lot of fans all over the place, and tailgates, a lot of hype around that game. It was a weeknight game as well.
An action game.
An action game against Ball State. It was the final game of the year when the RedHawks started 0-6 and then won 6 games in a row to advance to a bowl game. Fans crashed the field. It was really a fun night there for Miami. Not sure if that'll happen tonight with the student section and fans not as much sticking around. I think most of the fans with the energetic excitement to maybe crash the field have not stuck around. Maybe they've gone out to do other things here on this Wednesday night.
All that time was a media timeout, by the way. He didn't miss any action. Bowling Green just had to keep by Loy, and he gained about a yard on 2nd and 5 to make it a 3rd down and 4. 2 receivers right, none to the left. Loy has a man to his left in the backfield. It's Bryson Denley with 11 on the play clock. Now Denley moves to Loy's right. The ball on the left hash here, 20-yard line. Loy rushes near side, now pitches it off. Denley across the 20, reaches the 18-yard line, and when he goes down, a flag comes out from the end zone. Holding is going to be the call, but against who? On Bowling Green, holding his call. So they almost had a 1st down there, but now they're going to have to go 10 yards back. And 3rd and 4 turns into 3rd and 14 from the Miami 30-yard line. I'm impressed, Luke. The student section has stuck around for this game. Like, that did not decrease at all. The general fans decreased. The student section did not.
Yeah, the student section's still been there. Not necessarily a huge student section crowd to begin with, but it's decent in size.
Yeah.
So, shout out to the students for staying. There is snow on the other side, just in between in the empty rows that fans aren't sitting in. You can see the snow piled up on the seats. Also, something I saw just looking over there, Bowling Green's warming up 2 kickers on the sideline.
Oh, my God.
Not sure what that's about, but they got a 3rd and long here, maybe trying to test out a new kicker. They throw a screen pass, and that goes nowhere.
Pass to the far side, brought in by Quentin Morris, and he is tackled immediately at the Miami 30-yard line. They're going to have a 4th and 14. 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and they're going to run the timeout in this one. So the 3rd quarter has come to an end, and we're through 45 minutes. And so Bowling Green now have to decide on a 4th and 14 whether they want to kick a 47-yard field goal or go for it or punt. We'll have your answer next. Miami Football on Red Hawk Radio. Fourth quarter about to get underway. We'll see what Bowling Green's decision is. Looks like they're going for it. 2 receivers right and a man in the backfield to Grant Loy's left. And that is number 21, Trayvon Raymore, the rusher. Loy empty backfield. He's actually going to pass now. Fires far side of the field. And is picked off by the Miami RedHawks. And immediately out the far sideline is number 6, Mike Brown.
Is that Brown's second pick of the game?
Well, I don't even know if it was Brown.
Nope,
Travion Banks made the pick.
Banks.
That's his second of the game, I believe. We'll have to double check on that, but let's see. That is the 3rd interception thrown by Grant Loy this evening. And we will have to check on the interceptions category.
I think it might be time to try out Darius Wade for the Falcons. BC transfer, lost the starting job this year, but Loy is really struggling tonight. You can't really put all the blame on him. As,
No, for
you
sure.
know, the team hasn't performed all that well, but maybe just time to get Wade some reps in. And now, now that this is going to be the Falcons' 7th loss of the year, they're going to miss out on a bowl game because of this. And they kind of had to run the table to do so. They have a pretty tough schedule moving forward. But now that bowl games are kind of out of the question, now it's just time to get some reps on some guys moving forward and just try to give guys as much practice in games as possible and get them some reps and maybe focus on some training and other aspects that we don't normally see in more competitive games.
We're actually going to run the ball here in this 4th quarter, just try to run the clock down. Handoff, getting tripped up at the line, was Tyree Shelton. And so this will be a 3rd down and 4 coming up for the RedHawks from their own 28. 13:50 to go in the 4th quarter. I'm surprised we still see Brett Gabbard out there, actually. Nope, never mind. Now they're going to put in Jackson Williamson on this 3rd down and 4 play. That was kind of weird how I said that, and then Jackson Williamson runs right out on the field.
Announcer jinx, eh?
6'2", 201 redshirt sophomore to Anderson, South Carolina. 3 for 7 on the season. No interceptions, no touchdowns. 19 yards in the air, 6 attempts, 5 yards on the ground. Played at the Ohio State game. That was his last appearance.
The South Carolina guy used to the cold, eh?
Handoff here at the left hash. Zach Kahn will make his 2nd carry of the game for the RedHawks. And it'll be a 4th and 6 coming up for Miami, and Kyle Kramer might be on here to punt. He's standing on the field right next to the RedHawks sideline, and he and his special teams unit are going to come out. 12:50 to go here in the 4th quarter. So a short-lived drive there for the RedHawks. We'll go 3 and out. Brett Gabbert now will probably rest and be done for the night. And they will test the South Carolina guy, like you said, Luke, in the cold. Kramer on to punt. It is a spiraling kick. Caught at the 35 by Bowling Green. Jake Rogers will go out to the 50. He got tripped up 47, so stretched his way to the 50-yard line, and that is where VG will begin this drive. The first one for them of the 4th quarter. There's a pack of about 5 students to our right. They're all in hoodies. They're standing in the top row of the seats. They're screaming their lungs off.
And they're in the section where the snow wasn't cleared off the seats. They're standing up, so they're not sitting on that snow, but there's no one sitting in that section directly below them. All the way up until you get to about the 3rd row. And they are just screaming their heads off back there.
The cheerleaders are all the way down on the field, and the only people they're really cheering to are these 5 students on the top row who are clapping their hands in unison, and the cheerleaders are waving to them.
Gotta love team spirit.
Oh my goodness. Well, 12:18 to go in this 4th quarter. Might as well keep it here with the RedHawks up 44-3. So 2 hockey games coming up this weekend, Luke, against Minnesota Duluth. Why don't we preview that while we have the chance? And the RedHawks last week on the ice in North Dakota lost 7-1 Saturday, lost 5-4 or 7-1 Friday, 5-4 Saturday in a much closer game. But on the ice, what do you want to see from Miami this weekend? It's not going to get any easier. They played the 10th ranked team in the country last week, and Minnesota Duluth also in the top 10.
Yeah, I think you just want to see kind of that scrappy mentality, I think, from the RedHawks. I think, they're definitely not the most skilled team in the NCHC. They definitely, haven't had the recruiting base that some of the NCHC teams have, like Denver being, and Minnesota Duluth being in, one of the biggest recruiting hotbeds, arguably, in the entire U.S. and 2-time defending national champions. I think they just really need to play kind of with a scrappy mentality. I mean, they're not going to be able to, necessarily outskill the Bulldogs or anything of that nature, but, you don't necessarily have to be the most skilled team on the ice to win a hockey game. If you're more aggressive, if you're able to, kind of get pucks deep, work things down low, and take away time and space where you're, taking away the skating game and, allowing for more physicality and, moving around in tight spaces and things like that where, the skill and finesse and everything that we see a lot in today's game doesn't necessarily come as much into play. And I think that's going to be a big thing here for the RedHawks because Minnesota Duluth's a really good team. They're not ranked number 1 this year. Denver is. I mean, this NCHC is absolutely loaded this year. But, 2-time defending national champions, and there's no reason they can't go for a third. So it should be an interesting series Friday and Saturday. Really excited to see how the RedHawks perform back at home to begin their first home series in conference this season.
Can't wait. 7:05 Friday. Our coverage begins on Red Hawk Radio. Luke and I on the call of that one.
Maybe hoping later in the year we can recreate some magic we saw from many years ago when this football team made the MAC championship and then everyone in the hockey rink on that day was watching it on the video board. I believe Miami gave up a goal in that game and fans cheered in an uproar after Miami scored a touchdown on the video board. Enrico Blasi looked up in confusion, and I remember everyone crowding around the TVs. The 2 TVs that worked in the lobby after that game, huge crowds. I was really young. I sat on my dad's shoulders and watched the last couple minutes of that game when they defeated Northern Illinois, who was ranked at the time. And Brian Boucher came in clutch for the RedHawks on that day, and the injury of Zach Dicer, and that was just an incredible season for the RedHawks football team.
3rd and 7 for Bowling Green. Amongst all that, Loy will fire it to the near side, and it's a catch. Brought in by the wide receiver for Bowling Green, number 88, Christian Sims. But he will not get the appropriate yardage for a first down, and so it'll be a 4th and 3 coming up here for the Falcons with the ball on the Miami 43-yard line.
They're going to go for it here, I believe.
I would.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. They're going to
Loy
keep
is still
quarterback
out there. As our friends to our right continue to make noise. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Loy, empty backfield, fires over the middle. It's batted away. Getting in that one was Travion Banks for the RedHawks. Joey Carroll, the intended target from Bowling Green on that pass, and he was not even able to get his chance for his hands on the ball. And Bowling Green will turn over on downs for yet another time tonight with 10:31 to go in the 4th quarter and a 1st and 10. Coming up for the RedHawks with the ball on their own 43 when we return. Miami 44, Bowling Green 3, Wednesday night action from Yager Stadium in Oxford. We'll be back in a moment. Miami football on Red Hawk Radio. 10:31 to go in the fourth quarter. RedHawks 44, Bowling Green 3. Luke, I'm going to bet money that this next play is going to be a run play for the RedHawks offensively.
All right, we'll see about that, Patty.
I'm going to bet money.
Bet money. Is that an NCAA violation?
Oh, shoot, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Are we going to get removed?
Never mind, I didn't say that.
I hope not.
What did I say? Nothing.
I got to send my audition tape in when I apply to
10:31 to go in the
Syracuse.
fourth. As rush here up the right side, Yager to keep. And he's out of bounds at the Miami 49-yard line.
You and your money. I mean, what?
2nd down and 3 coming up for the RedHawks.
You didn't hear me say that.
They will mark Gabbard officially out at the 50.
The band is still alive and well here.
They must give them coats that have heaters in them because they are always jumping around alive.
Yeah, I mean, the student section's kind of dwindled away. I mean, this band is just a huge mass of people on the near side of the field all clumped up together, and they represent a pretty good portion going almost halfway up the stands on the near side in their section.
Gabbard here with a snap, keeps it back to the near side on a 2nd down and 3 rush, and he may have got the first down out the near sideline. Shane King is going to move him. And so a first down here for Gabbard. In company, they got to the 46. There's probably 100 people on the stands near side. Maybe, what would you say, 100 students far side of us?
It's probably pretty accurate.
Probably about 200 people in the stands.
Wind's starting to pick up. My papers are flying everywhere.
2 flags come in before the next RedHawks snap. False start on Miami. 5-yard penalty for a first down and 15. Clock continues to move again with 9:03 to go in the fourth quarter. Two receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Gabbard on the right hash has a man to his left in the backfield. That's Davian Johnson. Claps twice. Johnson with a play-action handoff. Gabbard instead keeps it and plows up the right hash for a gain of 5. And it'll be 2nd and 10 from now the Bowling Green 46-yard line. Gabbard now out of the game. Jackson Williamson back in. It's kind of weird they put Gabbard back in for a few snaps. Guess he was getting cold down there on the sideline. So now Williamson will take command of the offense on a 2nd and 10 from the BG46. Williamson hands off up the right side. James May. Or excuse me, that's Zach Kahn on the run. Down to the BG43, 3rd and 7 coming up from Miami. Seven and a half to go in this fourth quarter, and the clock is moving. Two receivers left, 1 to the right. Williamson with a man to his left in the backfield. That's Davian Johnson. 3 on the play clock. They're away to the last second to get the snap off. Williamson back to throw near side of the field, and it's a catch. And being tackled out the near sideline and up for the first down for the RedHawks is going to be number 3, Mike Brown. Or excuse me, Nick Manson, actually. Mike Brown's a defensive back who made an interception today. Nick Manson, the other player that wears number 3, a wide receiver. And Nick Manson is on the reception chart with his 2nd reception of the game for 25 yards. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right here for the RedHawks. Williamson looking for the shotgun snap. 6:20 to go in the fourth. 1 on the play clock. Handoff. Kahn running up the far side of the field, and he's smothered up at the 30-yard line for no gain. Always wonder what it's like to call the NHL Winter Classic. That's probably what we're experiencing right now. Like an outdoor game in the NHL, and when they pack a football stadium and they have a hockey rink in it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Maybe just a little bit colder. We're talking Michigan, Minnesota cold, not
Oof.
Ohio cold, and we aren't quite acclimated to that yet, as there might be someone from one of those states who Googled the forecast in Oxford and just listened to us in shame as we complained about how cold we are in 25-degree weather.
Pitch to the near side. Zach Kahn trying to fight his way forward, but he already lost 5 as Williamson was standing at the 35 to get the snap. Pitch play out to Kahn, who was standing, was right in the backfield, and Kahn couldn't climb his way back from a 5-yard loss. So with 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter, it'll be a 3rd and 15 from the RedHawks, or for the RedHawks from the Bowling Green 35-yard line.
We talked about that security they got from Sloman. They're still in field goal range after they lost 5 yards on that play. This would be a 52-yarder, so
Yep.
not quite a career-long attempt for Sloman, but pretty close. But he showed already that he can make this. A little bit colder, though. Different conditions maybe than what he saw last week at Ohio. Nonetheless, the RedHawks are going to try and put 7 up on the board here first and foremost.
Williamson handoff to the near side, and it's run there by Zach Kahn. He was able to make up the loss from the last play, but not enough for a first down. They're 11 yards short. So it'll be a 4th and 11 from the 31. And I bet they're just going to go for it here. Would be a 49-yard field goal for Sloman, which is definitely within his range. He made a 53-yarder last week, tying his career long, but Williamson and company will stay out there. Sloman's foot is very valuable for the RedHawks. It's won a lot of games, so you don't want to gamble anything. 2 receivers left and 1 to the right. Zach Kahn in the backfield with Jackson Williamson. Williamson 2 claps, snap, handoff, Kahn up the right side of the field, got to the 27. And so that will not be enough for a first down for sure. And the RedHawks turn it over on downs, and Bowling Green will take over 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line with 3:44 to go in the fourth quarter when we return. Miami 44, Bowling Green 3. They're a little over 3 minutes away from bowl eligibility. Back to cold Oxford, Ohio in a moment on Red Hawk Radio. Bowling Green will try to put some final points on the board. They're down 44-3 with 3:44 to go in the fourth quarter. First and 10, they will start from their own 27-yard line, and Grant Loy is back out there for another drive for the Falcons. We got two receivers right, one to the left, but it's a handoff to the man in the backfield. And scrambling forward for about 2 yards is Bryson Denley. Actually, the rush that time from Travion Raymore. Second and 8 after the pickup of 2 for the Falcons. We're back home next week. They play Ohio on Tuesday at 7:30. And they are at Buffalo on Friday the 29th.
Those are two tough games.
Yep. Buffalo game time to be announced. RedHawks against Akron at home next week at 7:30 on Wednesday night. Then they go to Ball State Friday, November 29th for a kick time to be announced. Up the near side of the field, the Bowling Green Falcons run it here. And Trayvon Raymore rushing it again as 2:40 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Mind sharing what just happened there, Patrick?
Go for it.
Patrick's roster just blew off of our stand here on the camera deck and is now sitting about, the camera deck's got a drop off. It's about 10 feet below us and 3 rows down. You can still see the cleat from the Adidas ad on the back. So we are rosterless on one side for the last 2 minutes of this game.
And the cameraman next to us laughed at me. He and I shared a laugh. Up the left side of the field, another rush here for Bowling Green. That was number 21, Trayvon Raymore again.
And the referees are in a hurry here.
Yeah, inside 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're probably just trying to stay warm.
Yeah, you know, normally in college that clock's supposed to stop until that ball's placed on a first down, and the line judge on the near side hustling to get that ball spotted so that that clock didn't really have to stop for that long.
Another handoff to Raymore, who just wants his rush yards average to go up at this point, I think. Trayvon Raymore pushes forward for 1 yard on first and 10 to make it 2nd and 9 from the 42. Bowling Green has not used the timeout in the second half. 1:16 to go in the fourth quarter.
And they can run this clock out now. Down to 0 as they're going to run it under a minute here, or almost, not quite.
1 minute to go as the handoff goes to Raymore again on a 2nd and 9. Up the far side of the field, broke one tackle and then is smothered with a second one. And Trayvon Raymore here will set up a BG 3rd down and 4. .36 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Falcons have the ball on the right hash. Taking their time. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Loy hands it off, far side Raymore. Tackle down after a loss of 1. It's going to be a 4th and 5. Well, the coaches are walking down the stairs in the press box now, and the game is over. Bowling Green, with 8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, is going to walk off the field, and the Miami RedHawks are going to win this one in Mackey's play by a score of 44-3. And the Miami RedHawks are now bowl eligible. Their overall record improves to 6-4. They are now 5-1 in Mid-American Conference play, and just 1 win away from a MAC championship berth with a win tonight over the Bowling Green Falcons in Oxford. Luke?
Yeah, Miami's eyes are huge at this point. They got a great opportunity with 2 games to go, and they just need to win one of them to move on to the MAC championship game. And, you know, we've almost even overlooked the fact that they are bowl eligible. I think a lot of fans, you know, have even moved past that as soon as this game kind of got out of hand. They thought, all right, we got this now. And now on to, you know, the bigger goal, which is making the MAC championship game. And right now on the video board, they were advertising for the game against Akron. Now that's a MAC logo. But as you can see, the RedHawks very, very, very excited about that opportunity to play for a MAC championship berth. And they win in a big way here. And they prove a lot of things to a lot of people, I think, in terms of how good they can be on offense. Putting up 44 points here and doing so in an almost casual fashion. A lot of just easy pitches and catches, and the running backs just having a track meet, just running up and down the field all over the place. Players in the corner celebrating with the band. The few students that still remain and filing their way out. And it's going to be a great night in the locker room for the Miami players as they warm up and enjoy this 41-point win here on the second to last home game of the year, and they will be bowl eligible. And Chuck Martin got to be really happy with his performance today.
For sure. Now, there is another scenario that the RedHawks could enter the MAC championship game, and it all happens tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Kent State hosts Buffalo, and if the Golden Flashes of Kent State win that game at home against the Bulls, then the RedHawks would automatically clinch a berth to the MAC championship. Kent State is 3-6 on the year. Buffalo's 5-4. The RedHawks beat Buffalo on this field earlier in the year, so if Kent State wins that game tomorrow, the RedHawks are for sure going to the MAC championship. But if Buffalo wins on the road, the RedHawks will have to win one more contest, and that begins with Akron a week from tonight at home at Yager Stadium on Red Hawk Radio. 7:30 ET will be your kick time there. So we survived, Luke, 4 quarters of 25-degree weather and some wind. We got through it, and we are glad that you guys joined us as well. Thank you so much for listening tonight on Red Hawk Radio. Our next broadcast comes your way from Goggin Ice Center Friday night. 7 o'clock our coverage begins with some hockey action on the ice. The RedHawks hosting the two-time defending national champion Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, first of a Friday-Saturday set. Join us for Miami basketball on Saturday as well. 12 p.m. Eastern Time, Alabama A&M, the opponent for the RedHawks. All right, so 44-3 your final score. The RedHawks winning tonight. They are now bowl eligible. Chance to go to the MAC championship with a win or a Kent State win tomorrow against Buffalo. So until then, for Luke West, Poley, our entire Red Hawk Radio crew, my name is Patrick Geshan, saying so long, and thank you for joining us tonight from Yager Stadium in Oxford. RedHawks victorious tonight on their home field, bowl eligible, 44-3 your final on Red Hawk Radio. Thanks so much for listening. This has been a presentation of Miami football.